Good morning on this Sunday. Hope everybody is having a great weekend. Thanks so much for checking in with us right now as we look over the city of Atlanta on what will be another very hot July day. I'm Megan Packer, and we will check in with First Alert meteorologist Courtney Jacobazzi coming up in just a moment, tracking your forecast as we head into this week that will bring more hot temperatures, she says, and students are getting ready to go back to school in so many districts across North Georgia. So we've got our forecast coming up in just a moment. But we are on top of some big stories for you this morning, including some new information we are just getting from the Georgia Department of Natural Resources. There is an investigation happening in Forsyth County right now after a man died after he was electrocuted after jumping off a dock into Lake Lanier. So this happened again on the Forsyth County side of the lake. If you're familiar with the area, it's near Lanier Beach South Road. And DNR tells us that a 24-year-old man jumped off a dock and appeared to have been electrocuted, shocked by electricity that was in the water. A neighbor shut off the power and pulled that man from the water. He was taken to the hospital where he later died. We're told there is an investigation in Forsyth County into this right now. But again, a 24-year-old man dead after appearing to have been electrocuted by electricity in the water after jumping off a dock into Lake Lanier. Storms rolled through the area last night. Perhaps you saw it happening right outside of your window. Look at these trees that came down in Atlanta. We had our crews out and about overnight, finding several trees that were down, blocking roads. We could see police had sidewalks taped off, streets were taped off after some pretty big trees came down. Again, we're checking in with First Alert meteorologist Courtney Jacobazzi in just a moment to get the latest on where the storms are now and what she's tracking with that. But it looks like some people will be spending at least part of their Sunday cleaning up. At this point, we've had no reports of any injuries with any of this that we've heard about. In Atlanta, look at this surveillance video. Police are looking for the people who stole ATMs, not just money, but ATMs from two separate locations. And you can see this is video. We were just showing you surveillance video from Mulu Mart on Lee Street in Southwest Atlanta. It showed two people loading the stolen machine into the back of a van. They also have video from that store of them ramming the van into the building to get inside. You can see the aftermath here. The owners say this is not even the first time this has happened to them. Someone stole their ATM last month as well. That time, though, going in the front door. You see this van here ramming into that building. And Atlanta police say it happened around 3:30 yesterday morning. And then about 15 minutes later, officers were called to Conley Food Mart on Conley Road in Southeast Atlanta, where thieves stole an ATM there. So police are investigating both of these cases. They have not said at this point whether these two burglaries are related, but of course, they will be looking into that. All right, it has been a busy weekend in Rockdale County for people who are hoping to buy a home. That is what's drawing thousands of people to Rockdale County this weekend. Today is the final day of the Neighborhood Assistance Corporation of America's Achieve the Dream Homebuyers event. The organization shared this video with us of people lining up to fill the gym at the Johnson Park Rec Center in Conyers. They've been out there for the past 2 days. The free event helps people with a low to moderate income use their Best in America mortgage program, and it's happening again today. There will be counselors there to walk you through the process, and they're out there until 8 o'clock tonight. If you are looking for something to do with the family and the kids and a way to stay cool, how about this? The Georgia Aquarium is offering a pretty nice deal. They're calling it a summer splash sale. 40% off weekday tickets that you buy online in advance. That brings the price down to $28.99. That sale runs through Thursday this week, but you can use the tickets anytime between now and September 29th. So that sounds pretty good if you're trying to think of some last minute things to do with the kids before school starts up in a few days. We were just saying that this morning. Hard to believe August is almost here. School is about to start up. So we know that you've got questions about the forecast and how it's looking when the kids head to the bus stop, and if you are doing some last minute outdoor activities before school starts. So let's take you outside again right now and look at the city of Atlanta as we bring in and First Alert meteorologist Courtney Jacobazzi, tracking the brutally hot temperatures. The storms may be gone, Courtney, but these temps are sticking around.
Yes, it's going to be another really, really hot afternoon across Metro Atlanta today, and even more steamy if you're south of the city. So just something to keep in mind for all of our friends who live down in Troop and Meriwether, Lamar, Pike, Upson County, even some of our eastern counties like Greene and Oglethorpe County. Further south and east you are today, you do actually have a heat advisory that'll start at 11, so within the next hour or so, and that will go until 9. So for, again, our southern counties and far eastern counties, you could have heat index values as high as 106 degrees today. So going to be dangerously hot down there. We are going to keep adding on to our 90-degree stretch here in Atlanta. So far this year, we've had 34 90 or above days. The normal for a summer is 44. So we're 10 away from that, and we have at least another, I'd say, 5 days of 90-degree heat. As we head into the end of the week, we could actually end up only getting into the 80s. I do have us in the 90s right now. I'll kind of explain why, but overall, we're definitely going to get close to that average. Nowhere near the record, though, I don't think, at all. 91. We only have 54 days left of summer, and I don't think we're necessarily going to get close to that record set back in 2019. That was a very, very hot year. Today will be hot, though. We do have a first alert for the high humidity that will ultimately result in those really high feels-like temperatures. So 94 today. Because of all that overnight rain, we actually started a little cooler this morning. We had some rain-cooled air to work with. So I think that'll keep our temperatures down just a touch today. But it will feel hotter. We'll have a lot of moisture in the air, so it'll feel more like the upper 90s to triple digits through most of the afternoon, starting at about 12. And that will continue into your dinner hour today. And again, if you live south of the city, so we're talking places like LaGrange, places like Thomaston, places like Eatonton, down in Meriwether County, down towards Lamar and Pike counties, you're going to be even hotter today. The closer to central Georgia you are, the hotter it's going to feel. We do have a 30% coverage of showers and storms today as well, out ahead of a cold front that's actually going to bring a really nice change for the start of the week as a handful of students head back to school. That front's going to push south, so drier air is going to usher in, so it won't be quite as humid for the start of the week. That will change for the second half of the week, though. That ridge of high pressure that's been bringing the crazy heat out west and has kind of taken over our area briefly, that's going to start to weaken and flatten out, but that will bring in more of a west-northwesterly flow and help those little storm, kind of like trains of storms, to roll into our area along that periphery of the ridge. So what we're going to be watching for is, we call them MCSs, mesoscale convective systems. Those are those kind of clusters of storms that can create the damaging straight line winds. We could experience those in the back half of the week. Now, the thing is, those are very hard to forecast, especially far out. We're just seeing trends in the models that those are going to enter our forecast generally from the west-northwest and bring us a rainier pattern for the second half of the week. So that's kind of what I mean when I talk about that we could get a break from the 90s. If those storm complexes come in earlier in the day, that will keep our temperatures out of the 90s and more so in the 80s. But until we can get a better handle on the timing of it, I'm going to keep us in the low 90s because, again, we're just going to have to wait and see how the timing of that progresses. So right now we'll say low 90s, but there is the potential for some of us to end up in the mid to upper 80s by the end of the week. Let's talk about today, because we do also have storms on the way today. As we head towards 3 o'clock, a few storms will be possible, but for the most part will be dry. A cold front will start to push south through the evening. That'll spark up storms mainly out in the Carolinas. However, some of those could usher in to our far eastern counties, so over towards Hall County down to Clark County. So we'll be watching for that throughout the afternoon and evening. I do think south of the city is where we'll watch for maybe an isolated severe storm today, very similar to yesterday. Could carry very heavy rain, very gusty wind, and frequent lightning. And of course, with just the heavy rain and the wind, that could take down trees. So we'll be watching for that mainly south of the city. As this front starts to sink south through the day, you will also notice it's going to be breezy today. So we'll be mostly sunny for most of the afternoon. We should have at least a slight uptick in cloud cover as that front starts to approach later today. And it will be breezy, but it will be hot. Now, behind that front, here's that drier air I was talking about. Take a look at the dew points. They measure the amount of moisture in the atmosphere. We're going to have dew points in the mid-50s to low 60s, so it'll be very comfortable as all you students head back to school for the work and school week. It'll be comfortable for Monday and Tuesday. The humidity does start to slightly rise as we head towards the end of the week, and then that's when those rain chances start to go back up. So Wednesday, we'll have a 20% coverage of rain. Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, I have have our coverage at 40%. But really, for the kids headed back to school, whether it's tomorrow, I know Butts County goes back tomorrow. Tuesday, we have a handful of students going back, a handful of counties going back. Tuesday and Monday will both look great. The bus stop, it'll be comfortable. It'll be low 70s. And then the humidity, again, will be lower through the afternoon. So while we're going to be hot in the low to mid 90s, what you see is what you get temperature-wise. It's not going to be the low to mid 90s feeling more like the triple digits. It's just going to be a drier, hot day with a lot of sunshine. So all you students headed back either tomorrow or Tuesday, enjoy it. Have a wonderful first day. Make sure you're packing plenty of water still. Regardless of the fact the humidity is low, it's still going to be a hot afternoon. The rain chances are going to go up by the end of the week. So Monday and Tuesday are dry with that lower humidity. Naturally, we're not going to get any rain because of that. But as the humidity rises, so will our storm coverage. Again, we're going to watch those little waves of showers and storms to kind of ride along that ridge and steer right into our area, generally moving from the west northwest, pushing through. They could end up being severe. Now, when you get this kind of pattern, we usually are watching for severe weather when it comes to damaging straight line winds, heavy rain, frequent lightning. Those kinds of complexes do carry that, but it's just way too far out to determine where they're going to go, how the timing of it, how persistent they'll be. So there's still a lot of question marks for the end of the week, but we could end up first alerting one of those days if we think that it'll be a particularly stormy day as we watch for those thunderstorm complexes to kind of roll on in the area. Today is a first alert because of that high heat. It will feel more like 100 plus. Again, it's going to feel like the upper 90s to triple digits through most of your afternoon. We will see a lot of sunshine today. As we head into Monday and Tuesday, comfortable mornings in the low 70s rather than the mid to upper 70s like we've had the past couple of days. Low to mid 90s for the afternoon, but a drier low to mid 90, not a humid low to mid 90, feeling more like the triple digits. Spotty storms return Wednesday, and then more scattered storms return Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Those are the days where we could maybe have some mid to upper 80s rather than low 90s, but we'll kind of fine tune that as we go through the week. But overall, for those of you who do still have an extra week, Monday and Tuesday be a great day to get outside and then maybe take advantage of that Georgia Aquarium ticket, the cheaper one for the second half of the week. Not a bad idea. That's a great deal. All right, everyone. I hope you have a wonderful Sunday. Thanks so much for spending some time with us. Stay cool today. Make sure you're drinking plenty of water in this kind of heat, and we'll catch you here next time.